Welcome. In this video, I'm over here once again with Oden. Again, Oden here on a 2-week board and train, pertaining to, again, relationship change. And here in this video, Oden is pretty reactive in the crate, okay? The crate, again, accepting the crate is important in terms of, again, taking stress off of the dog. But again, getting a dog to accept the crate as a follower. You understand, that's the focus. So here in this video, one of the things that's helpful in terms of getting a dog to start to kind of let it go, okay, start to affect the dog's ability to express control, is again starting to assert a little bit more influence into what I call the script. And so part of this is adding the down. Okay, so I'm going to add some down pressure onto Oden, okay, as part of the one-step method. But again, when you're dealing with dogs that have become aggressive, dogs that are holding a lot of control in the relationship, it's not recommended to start to add that onto the method until a dog has become somewhat agreeable, okay, to just starting to interact at a basic level. Even in terms of, that's why I talk with assert, sometimes there's a little bit of an adjustment that you need to make. Because again, when you're dealing with a dog holding a high level of control, everything that you do, you may feel is very reasonable, but it can be very unreasonable for a dog that is at that level. So you have to take that into consideration. But here, in terms of Oden being ready for this, and beyond that, this is helpful for, again, in terms of getting a dog to relax more even inside the crate. You want to start to add this to your toolbox. And how the down works, understand it isn't about Oden immediately accepting the down this way. Because understand, I'm not bribing Oden, I'm not using treats. This is about the relationship, okay? This is about the intent, him understanding, that about who's in control and wanting him to come into agreement with it. So part of the method here is, and again, I use the example of the tug of war team. If you ever watch the tug of war take place between two teams of individuals, you'll notice as one team starts to buckle, okay, the front, the guy at the front, the legs will start to shake. Well, this is kind of the concept here in terms of agreeableness, the role of influence. Okay, bring the dog to a point of coming into agreement. So it's like the mind is starting to shake and buckle, and then fully coming into agreement. And this is where, again, you'll see moments where, when this happens through certain methods, through certain techniques in the system, it'll look like a little mini earthquake. The dog will actually, it's like a little tremor. That's the agreeableness part. So here I'm going to be adding the down pressure on, but the expectation isn't necessarily for Oden to accept the down. I want to start to add this pressure because, again, it's helpful. So understand when you start to do this, you want to do it for a certain period of time, but it's not about a win that way. It's not even about physical force that way. Because here, even as I'm doing it, I'm not bending my elbow. I'm just using my body weight to lean in. So it's all about the method. It's not about physical force. And so when you see someone start to bend their elbow, that represents usually, now it's getting personal. Okay, I'm trying to use physical force. I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to get upset. Here, this is about being calm. Okay, just that he starts to feel this pressure starting to become part of the interaction. So here I'm going to start moving with Oden. So as I move with him, capture his bum, put him in the set, and do the push-pull, because that's part of the add-on for the down. Now right here, I'm going to do it here so you can kind of really see it. Do the push-pull first. That helps drop a couple dominoes in his mind. And then I'm going to add pressure for the down. Down. Now this is an example here of, when I started putting pressure for the down, and he came up, which is fine. I'm not going to immediately try to put him right back down right away. So you notice there, when I started applying the pressure for the down, he's like, well, this is different. He understands the intent, but to avoid, getting into any sort of a high conflict with him, I'm not saying that would happen. I put the word out there because, dogs will be familiar with that word, maybe based on bribery. Okay, so I'm going to take advantage of, of the association to that word from the past, but what's new is the influence. So I'll say it, but I'm pushing. So I'm using it to kind of, use that to my advantage a little bit, but, to help to decrease level of challenge. So you can do that, but don't keep saying down, 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 because then it's not, you want to focus on the action part. And so, there, I did it, successful, okay? And, after 2 or 3 times, I may still use the word, but I'll start to, remove the word altogether. Okay, so I'm just, sometimes you can do certain things to kind of, help to move the mind a little bit, but be careful, because it's about influence needs to be a part of the equation. Okay, it needs to take the center role that way. So again, move forward. We're going to do it a couple more times here in a minute. You don't have to do it every time. And the push and pull, you want to do the push and pull because complete that fully first, because the push and pull helps to move his mind in the direction of accepting the down. Okay, the push pull brings influence onto him for that in that moment. See, he looks up at me when I do the push and pull, and then it helps again drop a couple dominoes already, and then your hand will already be where it needs to be to follow through. But don't let it wash out. One of the things that people often will do is they'll start in the push and pull, but they're not even doing the push and pull. The push and pull is part of the language of the method. So it's like you're skipping words by doing that. You want all these connection points to happen. So really good right here, push pull. Again, I'm pushing now for the down. He definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't like it. Now when he's down there, notice he tries to sniff in right away. I'm preventing that. Very interesting too, because that's a sign. So right here, I'm going to keep the push and pull going. Then I'm going to bring him up. Now interesting there, so what happened there? He didn't like that at all, right? Didn't like that type of interplay, because what happened, and this is the thing to look out for, is as soon as he went down to the down, as soon as he gave for that, he tried to invest his nose right away into the floor, okay? And I stopped that. And then that triggered him, he really didn't like that, because what he's trying to do is try to counteract, trying to shift the scale, so to speak, saying, okay, I gave control away for that, but I'm going to try to express control right away. It's like going to a different supply source. So I took that away from him, and he had a reaction, which is, what I want. I don't want the reaction, but I want him to understand that, hey, I'm in control. So this is very helpful. So understand that you want to cut off those sources, because the dog's nose, okay, based again on current state relationship, it's how they see, but it's how they perceive through the relationship, okay, associated with expressing control. His mind's reaching out, okay. So I stop that because I want the focus to be on me. Now move forward again. I'm going to sit. Now that was a bigger moment. Okay, so if I have a bigger moment like that, you can see his reactions, and I really, I'm not saying he's sketchy, but definitely, you have to be aware that this is totally different than what he's experienced before,